Okay, well now I'm back again and I'm at the Horse Guards. The building directly ahead of me was designed by an architect called William Kent, and it was built here in 1732, and as I said before, it is used to be the headquarters of the army. And then the army was combined with the navy. You've got the Admiralty just further up the street, and of course the Royal Air Force, and they're all administered by the Ministry of Defence. So in many ways this is just a place for ceremony. However, people come here, there's usually a lot of activity taking place at 11 o'clock in the morning. And what I'm trying to do is make my way through the crowd, against the crowd who are trying to come out. Little by little, I'm achieving a bit of success with doing that. And yes, we are now inside.
There's a lot of tourists this year, but it's really like this.
So,
it's really like this because it's summer.
there's a guard shop. You can also see over on the left-hand side. Oh yes, we've got some guardsmen here. I say they don't mind being photographed. It's just always keep a respectful distance and don't try to distract them from their duties, because if you do, they have ways and means of dealing with you. Yes, also you'll see, not only do we have the guardsmen, we have the police. The armed police, it's worth pointing out. We have had problems in this country lately. In 2013, a soldier was shot and killed, beheaded actually, in Lewisham. And ever since then, the army have been jumpy about the prospect of terrorism. So again, that's a good reason for not doing things which are out of the ordinary. Right, we're going through the archway here. This archway is rather special. The only person who can really drive through this archway is the monarch, would be King Charles III now. And we're coming into Horse Guards Parade, which is immediately ahead of us. And there's a lot to talk about here. The original grounds of the Horse Guards were laid out for the benefit of King Henry VIII, who used it as a tilting ground. Tilting was a sport he very much enjoyed, dressing up in armour and riding on a horse, then having an adversary coming at him with a long lance. And the idea was to knock your opponent off his horse. And Henry VIII actually suffered a serious accident way back in 1536 at the Tiltyard in Greenwich Palace. And that actually gave him a nasty ulcer on his leg, which never healed up properly. But anyway, I'll talk again about that on some other occasions. It takes us off in the direction. Here we have, over on the left-hand side, a statue of the Earl Roberts, who was the Commander-in-Chief of the British Army in the early 1900s. He saw service in India and also in the Boer War. You can't see it at the moment because it's been fenced off, but just a little way ahead of me there is a cannon which was presented by the people of Spain on behalf of the service that the British Army did during the Napoleonic Wars. So it's there, but you can't see it. Similarly, you can't see because they've just set up these stands for some event which is taking place here very shortly. There's a statue of the Earl Kitchener, and Kitchener again was another leader of the British Army who served in India and also in Sudan. And it was he who went to recruit lots of men to fight when the outbreak of the First World War. There used to be big posters with Kitchener pointing his finger saying Kitchener wants you to serve in the British Army. The other statue down here is a statue of Earl Mountbatten. Now, Earl Mountbatten, he was the uncle, there he is, he was the uncle of Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh, the father of our present king. And he was also the last Viceroy of India. So that is why he has a statue there. And also to just take you around here, oh yes, you can see Kitchener down there over on the left underneath the tree. Now beyond those trees, those are the trees in the garden of number 10 Downing Street, the home of the Prime Minister. And I wonder if I can see this cannon from Cadiz. No, I can't actually. But for future reference, it's over here on the left-hand side. Turn all the way round and make our way up. We've got soldiers here, police, armed police, making certain that we're all safe from terrorists. Over here, directly ahead of us, these are the trees in St James's Park, and about half a mile ahead of us, we would come to Buckingham Palace, and Buckingham Palace is a place which I will be discussing on another occasion, because there's an awful lot to do. Right, and here, this is the Guards Memorial, the memorial to the Guardsmen who fell in the First World War. Ahead of us also, we have the place called the Citadel. And that was a bunker that was created out of concrete, but they became concerned that it was too conspicuous for the Luftwaffe, the German Luftwaffe, who were flying over here during the Second World War, that they covered it with ivy so that it would sort of blend into the background and not be seen. Just to take you around here, there's a monument to the British Royal Navy just ahead of us, and also we'll come back just again to show you the Horse Guards. So it's quite an open space, and this is where they have the ceremony known as the Trooping of the Colour. The Trooping of the Colour, which is the occasion for the King's official birthday, which happens in June. The King was born in November, but they have an official birthday when they think that the weather is going to be rather more conducive for people coming out. Not always the case, of course. Sometimes it rains in June, but nevertheless, what happens, it's a military ceremony, and the idea is that one of the regiments of the Foot Guards will parade their colours, or the emblems, the flags that the special flags that are attached to that particular regiment. And it's a colourful occasion, and very, very popular. Now, just a little further forward, and I can see it now coming into view, you have the Turkish cannon. It's not really well, it could be Turkish. It was from the Ottoman Empire. And the Ottoman Empire, of course, spread over most of the Western Mediterranean and included Egypt. So this was a Turkish cannon that was actually captured, well, it might have been presented to us by the Egyptians in gratitude for the Battle of Abu Qir Bay. It's the sort of thing they would have done. Just worth having a very quick look at it before we move on. On this building here, this is the Admiralty, rebuilt in the early 1900s as the headquarters of the Royal Navy. And so all the administrative work is now taking place by the Ministry of Defence. So just have a look at this splendid cannon. which, if my memory serves, was made in 1517 and located, taken from Egypt around about 1801, that sort of period. And just move around again before we leave, just again to sweep around and show you the whole of Horse Guards Parade. And as we do that, just before we sign off again, is to take you out and to show you the statue of Wolseley. Now, he is commemorated here because he was very much involved in turning the army into a profession, giving standards of recruitment. Prior to this, it was very much a class basis. You had only people, very, very wealthy people, became officers. You had to buy your way into the army, and the hard work was then all done by people from the working class. But it was due to this man's reforms that it was possible for bright, ambitious young men from the lower classes to work their way up to senior ranks, and that's the reason why this man is commemorated here. Then you have also now got the Household Cavalry Museum. So if you want to know more about the Household Cavalry, this is just where you should come. But here we are. It's quite a lot to take in, one way or another. Just have another pan round before I sign out. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you, and I will see you all again in my next video, which will deal with the southern section of Whitehall.